pick a side. They were on Bleacher Report a few days ago. Shout out to them. They did a great job. I watched that. They put together a trade to reunite the Clippers with Chris Paul. And I felt like it was way heavy in favor of the Suns. I mean, if and they both said that too. They're like, this seems like a little too much. It is. Okay.
Well, what was it exactly? What was it?
They had Terrence Mann and Norman Powell for Chris Paul. I mean,
yeah. That's
so I tried to recreate this a little bit that would be more doable for the Clippers. So I've got Norman Powell and Robert Covington is where we're gonna go here.
I like me some Rocco. I really like me some Rocco, so I like this already.
And then here's the thing. So the Suns are going to throw in 2 second rounders, a 2026 second rounder and a 2024.
Okay.
So Robert Covington, I'm not the biggest fan of Robert Covington, but he shot 39% from 3 last year. The year before, 38. The year before, 38. Like, he's an actual 3-and-D guy. I think if you put him in a role that's very specific, and the Suns need players, man. We can't be really that picky at this point because we need players. We've got 6 players. If we cut Chris Paul, we'll have 6 players on the roster. So I'm trying, I think Robert Covington is less of a blow to the Clippers than Terrence Mann. And that's what they had. They had Terrence Mann and Norman Powell. What do you think?
I like this trade a lot. I mean, talking about the draft picks, like at this point, what are draft picks to us after the Kevin Durant trade? So we're just like, we're not really in it for, draft picks at this point. I do like Robert Covington. I really do. Norman Powell a lot, especially after that, first round that we had against them. Those two, especially Norman Powell, cooked us in the playoffs, man. I know there's a lot of times I was like, man, where did Norman Powell come from? Like, why is this guy doing this to us? I would love to have him on the team. I would love to have Norman Powell on the team for sure. Rocco, like him a lot too. Once again, we just need 3-and-D guys at this point. We have plenty of scoring that'll come from Booker. So yeah, I think this is a good value, getting rid of Chris Paul. My only issue is with this trade, and we can, talk about this later, who's going to be the point guard? Do you trust Campaign with this trade to be the point guard, or what do we do after this? You know what I mean?
Well, you're right, because
you're with this one.
Yeah. You're right, because it only frees up $1.1 million for the Suns. But so the Suns have 2 objectives. One of them is they need to, like I said, fill out the roster, which is going to be very tough. So trading 1 player for 2 players is something that I like. My boy MJ the GOAT says this is terrible for the Suns. I mean, if you're a Chris Paul fan, it's terrible for the Suns. But I'm of the belief that Chris Paul it's run its course. I do not believe he can stay healthy in the playoffs. That's where the Suns are trying to succeed. They're no longer a team that's trying to succeed in the regular season. They're to the point where they're trying to get past the Nuggets. And when Chris Paul, everyone knew he was going to get injured. And if you didn't know that, you don't watch basketball for very long, because he's cursed. He is cursed in the playoffs. 2 players, like Norman Powell is nice offensively, not much on defense. But that gives the Suns 2 players that can actually play alongside Book and KD. You get out from that monstrous Chris Paul contract. And I put the 2 second rounders in there to try to make it a little bit more to try to entice the Clippers.
Sweeten the pot a little bit. Sweeten the deal a little bit.
You got any problems with it?
No, I don't. I see people saying, MJ the GOAT says, I don't like Rocco too much. And then Jackson says Rocco used to be a GOAT. I mean, at this point, what we're looking for is veteran players that will basically get the job done in Frank Vogel's new system, because, we also did get Frank Vogel. So like, we're looking for veteran players to build around, 36 basically. So yeah, I do like this a lot.
SP Coop, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining. He says, how are you trading somebody that got cut? Laughing face. Listen, he's not cut. That's probably going to be what ends up happening. I'm not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. He's probably going to end up getting cut, but that was more of a leak. He still is with the team, and the Suns are still trying to figure out a way to get someone to be dumb enough to trade for him. All right, let's move on. We got some Ayton trades coming up next.